The year Damian Harris and Bill Belichick and Mac Jones ran it down our throats, only throwing the ball 3 times. Sean McDermott was specifically asked what it takes to stop the run, and he said that it's an attitude that's developed in training camp. It's a character that's developed early in the season. It's harder to get that done later in the year. So welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We're going to talk about a few things here, the top 3 things that I think the Buffalo Bills should focus on for this year's training camp, as well as another false flag rumor about A.J. Dillon. Buffalo Bills potentially trading for A.J. Dillon, but I just think this is Brandon Beane doing his due diligence once again, trying to get a value on potential free agents in the upcoming years. But we're going to discuss it here. What is going on with the Buffalo Bills? Where are we finally starting to transition to a full-blown running attack? So I really think the Buffalo Bills' number 1 priority here is to learn how to run the football. We have to run the football in training camp with Damian Harris, with Nyheim Hines, James Cook, Latavius Murray. And what that's ultimately going to do, it's going to help our defense learn how to stop the run. But I really believe, right, bringing back all the players that we had last year, the upgrades with Daquan Jones, bringing back Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips. Right now we have Poona Ford, Greg Rousseau, Boogie Basham, A.J. Epinesa all progressing here. We know that we have the players on this team, minus Tremaine Edmonds, that could stop the run. And we've heard Steve Tasker say that Terrell Dotson is likely going to be the starter at middle linebacker, is a big, fuller linebacker, fully capable of taking on 300-pound offensive linemen. So I really believe the Buffalo Bills have all the player personnel to stop the run in 2023, but we have to develop that attitude, that mentality in training camp. But if our offense is not able to have an effective, potent running attack, our defense isn't going to be well prepared. We always discuss it. Iron needs to sharpen iron. We talk about player versus player. Trey White versus Stephon Diggs. Iron sharpening iron. Dalton Kincaid versus Matt Milano. That's going to be iron sharpening iron. So, but it also boils down to the overall aspect of running the football on offense, making sure that's a true threat, excluding Josh Allen as a runner, and having that wear on this defense so they could get sound, make sure they're lined up properly. And I really think the next thing that we have to address here with the Buffalo Bills is this offensive line. Determining who is going to be starting at right tackle. You don't want to take too much away from the run, and you don't want to take too much away from the pass. Spencer Brown, ideally, we've given so much playing time to. I'm sure the Buffalo Bills are really rooting and hoping that Spencer Brown takes a leap forward this year, solidifies himself as our starting right tackle. But Brandon Beane brings in Brandon Shell, a veteran offensive tackle that could definitely come in, compete for that role. Even David Quessenberry was mixing in that role last year. So who knows what is ultimately going to happen there. And we also have new faces, right? Connor McGovern, a brand new, the highest paid free agent on this team. Connor McGovern likely starting at left guard between Dawkins and Morris. We have to see how he's going to fit into this team. And then a rookie, Osiris Torrance, people saying he's flat-footed, much different than the faster, nimbler offensive linemen that we've had here, with Bates and Butker. And also Edwards, another free agent. We have to see how he's going to mix in on this offensive line. So really, first, it's about running the football. It's about running the football so it helps our defense stop the run. And second, it's figuring out the best front 5 for Josh Allen to protect this offense and this franchise. Everything stems off of Josh Allen in this offense passing the football. Now, I really believe that is the evolution of this team. And that is ultimately what we're going to be getting into here. Maybe Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, they know they're a work in progress. They know that they want everyone to embrace that hunger mentality, that work in progress mentality here at One Bills Drive. And I really believe Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, they might be sitting here knowing that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Chuck Pagano, who all came from that same coaching tree, are clearly a notch ahead of their coaching staff. Between Sean McDermott, Ken Dorsey, the loss of Leslie Frazier, Eric Washington being promoted for the Bills. I believe, maybe we're starting to understand, like, our offense might just not be able to ever match up against the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with Travis Kelce and the weapons that they have. The genius behind Andy Reid calling plays, and we see it after the seasons, listening to what unfolds on the field during games. I mean, they're scheming things up that are so advanced, and it's going to be very, very hard to catch that offensively. Now, Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded coach. This should be really a defensive set team, but with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, all these weapons, we're definitely starting to evolve into potentially starting to run the football. Maybe we're starting to understand, like, we're never going to be able to go arm in arm. We're gunslinging with Patrick Mahomes and some of these offenses, right? I mean, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd. I mean, that is just the best trio of wide receivers. It's just unbelievable to compete with that. So running the football, we understand that's what teams actually want to do against us because we have Josh Allen. You want to run the football. You want to keep these elite quarterbacks on the sidelines, right? You want to be able to grind games out towards the end of the game. So really, the third aspect the Buffalo Bills should be focused on this training camp is figuring out our middle linebacker, the quarterback of this defense, who is going to be calling plays. And my philosophy here is who is going to make the biggest impact statistically. Who is making the biggest splash plays on this team? Interceptions, turnovers, forced fumbles, batted balls. I really believe that Dorian Williams truly has a shot at starting at middle linebacker for the Bills. I know we wanted Drew Sanders, right? We wanted Jack Campbell, and Dorian Williams ends up in our lap, 4.4940, and I really believe he has a shot at starting for the Buffalo Bills. It's likely going to be Terrell Dotson or Dorian Williams. I really think it's starting middle linebacker for the Bills. And you really take a look at what it ultimately means. It's about how fast you can get to the football. Tremaine Edmonds' best year in Buffalo was when he was a rookie. After all the years and experience of learning, statistically, Tremaine Edmonds did his best when he was a rookie. Not understanding the game, not knowing ultimately where to go on a play-to-play basis, but statistically, he did the best. So why was that? Maybe just putting himself in random positions, the quarterback not knowing where he was going to be, him himself not knowing where he was going to be, just worked out and we got a little bit lucky. Maybe that's what the Buffalo Bills need for 2023. But if you guys enjoyed this video, my top 3 things for this year's training camp, if you agree, disagree, let me know down below. Also, what do you think about this evolving team, this offense, and defense trying to evolve as a true all-purpose team? If you guys enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe. Go Bills.